I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, giving and so forth. May I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations through practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sanye joda zoge jonam na janjo bardo dani gyapsuch nage jinso gebe sonam ki dola penjere sanye drobara shom Sanye joda zoge jonam na janjo bardo dani gyapsuch nage jinso gebe sonam ki dola penjere sanye drobara shom Sanje joda zoge chonam la chancho pardo dani gyapsu che dage jinso kebe sonam dola benjira sanje dobara sho. Okay, three principal aspects of the path. Where do you find this? Check the book and see where it is. Where it is. Three principal aspects of the path. Page number? 78. 78. Page 78. Three principal aspects of the path. And this is again a very short and some extremely important texts are really the quintessence of all the gems. Right? The quintessence of all the gems. Three principal aspects of the path. The three. So in the mornings we talk about the four. What are the four that we are discussing? We were talking about in the mornings? Practice. Okay, single point of meditation, renunciation, bodhicitta, wisdom of emptiness. Four. And here, three principal aspects of part three. So these are four condensed in three. The four condensed in three. Okay, the four are condensed in three. How condensed is renunciation, bodhicitta, and wisdom of emptiness. A single point of meditation is a support. It's a support for all three. A support for all three. Therefore, it is not counted as separate. Say with the wisdom, with a very refined wisdom, it must have the two qualities. One is the intelligence and the stability. Both are required. So therefore, these four are condensed in three. And here, the three principal aspects of the path, this teaching was actually composed by Lama Tsongkhapa, the same author, Lama Tsongkhapa. He composed this at the request of his teacher, no, at the request of his student. One of his students from a distant place, from a faraway place. And the request also came, said in those days, today, nowadays, very easy to travel from one country to the other. So in the olden times, for somebody to come from one place to other, the student to come all the way to the teacher's place, like months and months walking, right? So that was the situation. So the request came to Lama Tsongkhapa, and from distance, from one of his students, who through a messenger, and then Lama Tsongkhapa composed this, and of course this student must be very special. And I still remember that His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Okay, first let me share about this, the text, short text, just 14 verses. And then in the end I will share what His Holiness this said. So this has three principal aspects, and why I say that this is the quintessence of of all the gems of the teachings, is that Lama Tsongkhapa presented it as extremely succinct and so easy for us, and yet with the economy of words, and yet where you can understand it very easily. So each of the points, each of these 3 points, Lama Tsongkhapa explained through 3, in 3 aspects. Each of the 3 points, renunciation, bodhicitta, wisdom, emptiness, each one of them explained in through 3 aspects. And the 3 aspects are: number 1, why to cultivate. Now, let's say first let's deal with renunciation. Why to cultivate renunciation? Why? It's not about that, so you're following Buddhism, so therefore renunciation. No, it's not about that. Because that you are someone who does not want suffering. You are someone who wants happiness. So therefore renunciation means to renounce your miseries. To renounce miseries. So for such person, it's not about Buddhism or being a Buddhist. It's about somebody who doesn't want to have miseries. And so for that, why do we have to cultivate renunciation? Number 1, the reason why to cultivate renunciation. Number 2, what's the next question? Once you're convinced that, oh yeah, I have to cultivate renunciation, then what will be the next question? How to cultivate. So number 2 is how to cultivate the renunciation. Number 2. Okay. Then when you know how to cultivate renunciation, you engage in the effort, then what will be your next question? The benefit you already know, benefit you already learned, because that why to cultivate renunciation means the benefit. What's the benefit if I cultivate renunciation? Huh? Yes. The measure of having generated renunciation. Number 3, the measure. How do we know that I have actually generated renunciation? The measure of having generated renunciation. In simple terms, how do I know that I have generated renunciation now? How do I know? What is like the measuring? What is that? What's the yardstick? What's the yardstick? To know that, to measure that you have generated renunciation. The measure of having generated renunciation. So likewise, for the bodhicitta, why to cultivate bodhicitta? How to cultivate bodhicitta? What's the measure of having generated bodhicitta? Then number 3, why to cultivate the wisdom? How to cultivate the wisdom? And the measure of having cultivated the wisdom. 3. Yet, Lama Tsongkhapa's style is extreme. As I said, it's very extremely succinct. He would not go for unnecessary, what do you call it? This English word. He doesn't want to make things verbose. What is verbose? Verbose, too many words. You're getting it? He would just make things with the economy words and the things are clear. Right? So he never makes things verbose. Okay, so it's just very brief. So for that matter, for example, once he explained what's the measure of having generated renunciation, then you've applied this to the bodhicitta also. You're getting it? So he will not say it separately for bodhicitta. He doesn't want to say that, okay, say for example, after eating food, then you wash your hands, and after eating snacks, after you wash your hands, he will not go like this. Once he says something, you have to apply. You have to know how to apply this to others. Okay. So tell me, the 3 principal parts. You know what they are. What are they? Raise hands. What are 3 principal parts? Raise hands. Raise hands. Raise hands. Okay, Ashwin.
Renunciation, bodhicitta, and wisdom.
Okay, so how did Lama Tsongkhapa explain in the 3 principal aspects of the path? These 3 points, how did he explain, on what basis? Yes, Richard?
Why you do it, how you do it, and what is the result of measure of how far you go.
Why do you do it, how do you do it, and the measure of having generated the 3 principal parts. Good? Okay. We could just read it. We're going to just read it, and then if you have questions, you can bring this up. Still, we have today one more session. 3, I don't know, whether 3 or 2 sessions tomorrow. Okay, 3 sessions tomorrow. We still have about like 4 today now included, 5 sessions, excluded 4 sessions. Okay, let's slowly read this. I bow down to the Venerable Lamas. As well as I'm able, I will explain the essence of the teachings of the Buddha, the path praised by the conqueror's children, entrance for those who desire liberation. Or conqueror's children means of bodhisattvas. Listen with a clear mind, you fortunate ones, who are not attached to the joys of cyclic existence. Strive to make good use of leisure and opportunity, and direct your minds to the path that pleases the Buddhas. Without pure renunciation, an end to attraction for the pleasures of cyclic existence is unattainable. The craving for existence also binds beings, thus from the outset seek renunciation. Reverse the attraction to this life by reflect on how leisure and opportunity are difficult to find and how life is ephemeral and without span. Reverse the attraction to future lives by repeatedly thinking of the infallibility of karmas and effects and the miseries of samsara. Contemplating thus, when for an instant you do not admire the splendors of cyclic existence and remain intent on liberation day and night, renunciation is born in you then. Renunciation, if not tempered by pure mind of bodhicitta, however, will not bring forth the perfect bliss once past enlightenment. Therefore, the wise ones generate the excellent mind of bodhicitta. Swept up with the current of the 4 powerful rivers, tied by strong bonds of karma, so hard to undo, caught in iron net of self-grasping, completely enveloped by the darkness of ignorance, born and reborn in the boundless cyclic existence, ceaselessly tormented by the 3 miseries, thinking of your mothers in this condition, generate the supreme mind of bodhicitta. Although you train in renunciation and mind of bodhicitta, without the wisdom that realizes the ultimate reality, you cannot cut the root of cyclic existence. Therefore, strive to understand dependent arising. One who sees the infallible cause and effect of all phenomena in samsara and nirvana and destroys all focus of apprehension has entered the path which pleases the Buddhas. Appearances are infallible, dependent arising. Emptiness is understanding that is free of assertions. As long as these two are seen as distinct, you have not yet realized the intent of the Buddhas. When these two realizations are concurrent, where the mere sight of the infallible dependent origination concurrently destroys all modes of grasping through definite discernment, at that time the analysis of the profound view is perfected. Furthermore, appearances refute the extreme of existence, emptiness refutes the extreme of non-existence. When you understand the emptiness arises in the form of cause and effect, you are not captivated by the view of extremes. O my child, once you have thus realized the points of the 3 principal paths, seek solitude and cultivate strong determination and quickly reach the final aspired goal. Okay, what His Holiness, I remember having said this, is that His Holiness recites this every day for more contemplation. Reflection is so succinct that the whole path to fearlessness, infinite happiness is condensed there. This is how our mind gets opportunity to be familiar with these 3 principal paths every day. And then His Holiness would add that when you come to this point, the last verse 14, O my child, once you have thus realized the point, the spiritual child, and the points of the 3 principal paths, seek solitude and cultivate strong determination and quickly reach the final aspired goal. So when you read this, or when you recite this, if you can visualize that actually Lama Tsongkhapa is addressing to you, conveying this to you, oh my spiritual child, my spiritual son, my spiritual daughter. If you can feel that, you connect yourself, you make a special karmic connection with Lama Tsongkhapa, and you can really take birth as his direct disciple and achieve the maximum benefit out of this path to infinite happiness and fearlessness. Okay, this is what His Holiness advised. Okay, good. Where did you leave this in the earlier session?
Tongue practice, 4 kinds of generosity.
Okay, be very precise, succinct, no verbose. No verbosity. Okay, the fourth generosity. fourth generosity, which is the generosity of dharma. Okay. So in fact, we see that the best of the generosity. Okay, you will understand it. Let's say that somebody comes to, you're so desperate, you're not getting food, and then somebody comes to give you food every day. Somebody comes to give you food, and the person is so kind. Or somebody gives you food, and the person teaches you how to get food. Which is better? Huh? The latter one, right? Somebody teaches you how to get food. So there, with this, it guarantees that you get food every day, right? Whereas if you depend on somebody, that somebody gives you food, anytime kind person can become sick, or the person can die, or the person can migrate to another place. So what are you going to do? So whereas if you learn how to get food yourself, then you'll always be yourself. So you will never have the problem of hunger. So what is better? Actual material resource given, or the instruction how to get the food? Which is better? Instruction. That is better. That is better for you. And so the teachings, this is the best of all the benefits. Meanwhile, don't say that, okay, then I will become a teacher, right? And then somebody has somebody going through material, say, financial crisis, and you have extra, and then, oh, no, money is not, and it's just temporary. Eventually I'll become a teacher and then help you, right? So this is the extremely unrealistic. So whatever help that you can give that help. So long, immediate benefit, long-term benefit. Long-term benefit, teaching is ultimate. Finally, somebody get the total fearlessness, infinite happiness, only through the wisdom of emptiness and the Bodhicitta. So these two, and the supported by renunciation, and also supported to stabilize by the single-pointed meditation. But these two are the two things, two wings, for you to reach to the ocean, to reach the island of fearlessness and infinite happiness. Okay, so the dharma, how to get there. So these two will never say somebody touches your head and the Bodhicitta experience. Somebody touches your hand and then you will get the wisdom of emptiness. Impossible. And you may think that, what? Buddhism, spirituality is a religion. He doesn't believe in these, these blessings, right? Okay. Blessings has its own role. What is meant by real blessing? Real blessing is the teaching that you get. That is a real blessing. Otherwise, just somebody touching you or some mantras and suddenly you have the wisdom of emptiness, it is impossible. What do you think? You may think that, how is he so confident? I can say this with incredible confidence, because you recite any mantra for 20, 30, 40 years, you cannot become the Nobel laureate in physics, 100%. You agree with me or not? You recite any mantra for 50 years, you can. If you don't study physics, you cannot become Nobel laureate in physics, 100%. You agree with me? Yeah. Okay. So this is a clear indication. Don't expect some miracles. The real miracle is compassion, bodhicitta, and the wisdom of emptiness. These are the real miracles. What is miracle? Something which gives you something which you have never got before. What is that? Fearless and infinite happiness. What gives you these two things? The renunciation, the bodhicitta, and the wisdom of emptiness. So these are the two real miracle things. So if you get these, this is a real miracle that you have. Okay. So dharma. What kind of dharma? What kind of dharma? Anyone? Generosity of dharma. So you're going to give dharma. What kind of dharma to give? Guess. Raise hands. What kind of dharma to give? Raise hands. Raise hands. Raise hands. Marianne. What kind of teachings? Chingila?
How to develop bodhicitta and how to see emptiness as objective.
Okay, how many agree with Chungila resents? Oh, quite surprising. I thought that many of the hands will come up. Okay, so same. We talked about the. So what you say it again?
How to develop bodhicitta and how to see emptiness as objective reality.
Emptiness of,
Emptiness of objective reality.
not emptiness as objective reality. Okay, so the teaching. Now I told you last time that if somebody were to tell you what you learn, so what is unique thing about the Tibetan Buddhism of Nalanda tradition? You say renunciation, bodhicitta, wisdom of emptiness, and the single-pointed meditation, and tantra, the union of bliss and emptiness. But the tantra part will keep it away because we need the foundation. You know, without others you cannot do tantra. And some people, they are too hurry, right? Then rush to get to tantra. So that is not. Whereas if you're been like new to this and then you heard about tantra, that's fine. But once you know that these other things there, Buddhism, Bodhicitta, all these things are there, and still rush to tantra, it's a self-deception. Newcomers is fine. Newcomers, you would learn. And then sensible people, they learn this, and then there's okay. So tantra, no hurry, have to fulfill these criteria. Okay. So renunciation, bodhicitta, wisdom, emptiness, and the union of bliss and emptiness. So union of bliss and emptiness, which is tantra, and when generosity, when you're practicing this, you can include this. You don't have to right there practice it in real sense, but you can include this in visualization form so that in future lifetimes, when you're ready, tantra will come to you, because this is a very precious thing. The only thing is that people don't know this, and they abuse it. They abuse it, and then this abuse of tantra is a self-destruction. It's a self-destruction, and the people, they don't understand it. Is ignorance is bliss. Yeah, unfortunately. Okay, so what you do is, as we for the dharma, as you breathe out, then the nectars, white light, and so forth, they go out from your right nostril, and then they may touch with the sentient beings, then the Buddha Shakyamuni manifest, or say Avalokiteshvara manifest, Aramanjushri manifest, and Vajrapani manifests, His Holiness the Dharma manifests, and yourself also in the form of the Buddhist Bodhisattvas. You yourself manifest in the form of Buddhist Bodhisattvas, and imagine that you first give the teaching on the renunciation 3 times, then they give the teaching on the Bodhicitta 3 times, and imagine everybody. With the renunciation, look, so this is the key. With the renunciation, you give teaching on renunciation, then everybody realizes that, okay, I should refrain from negativities. To renunciation, what is renunciation? To renounce? To renounce your miseries. So what attracts miseries is your negativities, negative thoughts, which are rooted in ignorance, contaminant karmas, afflictions, and ignorance. So you imagine, by giving this teaching, all the sentient beings, they come to this realization that I should not engage in negativities. Negativities are all rooted to the self-grasping ignorance, and I should not engage in negativities. So it frees them from, it lays the ground for them to be free from the fears or miseries. Then next, the teaching on bodhicitta. Again, the same thing. Nectars, white light, they manifest in the form of Buddhist Bodhisattvas, of their different forms, and you also in the form of Buddhist Bodhisattvas. Wholeheartedly teaching about bodhicitta. And bodhicitta is what? To expand your compassion towards other beings. So this guarantees expansion of the heart, guarantees your happiness. So your happiness expanded. So imagine that all the beings, their happiness expanded, right? Now, say they are going the direction of getting rid of the miseries and expanding their happiness. This is what we are seeking. So this is what you want the beings to happen, to have these two. Okay, Bodhicitta. So what are these two things? To renounce Bodhicitta. These two are the aspirations. You're getting it? May. Renunciation. So for self, say, may I be free from suffering. May I be free from all forms of suffering, and to be more technical, may I be free from contaminant karmas, afflictions, particularly self-grasping ignorance. Right? And then may sentient beings, say, imagine that sentient beings, they realize that each one of them come to realize, may I be freed from contaminant karmas, afflictions, and the inappropriate with the self-grasping ignorance. Okay, so what is Bodhicitta? Again, it's an aspiration. May I become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. Again, you're giving teachings to them, to the beings. The beings realize that may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. So these are two aspirations, right? Renunciation and both are aspirations, in the form of aspirations. So how aspiration mean? You have to fulfill the aspirations. How to fulfill the aspirations? Anyone? How to fulfill these two aspirations? So when the sentient beings, they say that may I be free from suffering. When the sentient beings say that may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. It's the aspiration. How to materialize the goals of these two aspirations? Through compassion, wisdom, good. Anyone else?
By visualizing yourself as a Buddha.
Okay. Jyoti. Okay, can you be can you articulate it?
By following the path of Bodhicitta and understanding the wisdom of it.
So this is all correct. This is all correct. Still, I'm looking for another way which anybody, any learned people hears from you. Wow, that's amazing. So precise. Anyone? Chris?
To teach them about the emptiness of mind so that they can alleviate.
It's much more the same, the emptiness, right? Anyone else? Anyone else? What you said is correct. It's not wrong. Yes? Same. This all practice is the practice, practicing, reflecting, meditating, wisdom, emptiness, compassion. Anybody else? Okay. So these aspirations, these two aspirations are the sentient beings. They're in the form of, the two goals are in the form of seed. They are here to manifest. So how to let this seed, how to let these two things come out? By removing the mental dirt. You're getting it? What are the mental dirts? Hey Raz, let's all listen to Raz.
The afflictions of the mind, of ignorance and anger and
Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay, I don't see Joshua. Right, anyone else? Anyone else? What are the afflictions to be got rid of? Anyone? Raise hands. Raise hands. Yes, Lisa. Okay, ignorance affliction. That's correct. Raise hands. Okay, Johannes. Good. When I say good, I'm like 80% happy. Okay, Ashwin.
Contaminated karmas and afflictions which are particularly self-grasping ignorance.
Good. Yes, Venerable. Perfect. Very comprehensive. afflictive obscurations and the cognitive obscurations. All obscurations are within that, right? And particularly learned people, when they hear that, when you hear you saying that, okay, say what should we do to accomplish these two goals? You have to remove these two obscurations. Wow, this is very technical. You're getting it? Okay, this is how we should be. And then at the same time, what is said, they remove self-grasping and self-centered attitude. This is also perfect. There's nothing wrong in it. And the three poisons, attachment, anger, and ignorance, they're all good, but to be very comprehensive, and is to get rid of to separate the Buddha nature from the mental defilements. What are the mental defilements? Afflictive obscurations and cognitive obscurations. So afflictive obscurations related to not experiencing the fearlessness, not getting the goal of the renunciation. But the cognitive obscuration, not getting the goal of the cognitive obscuration stops you from attaining the goal of the. I already gave the clue. Afflictive obscuration stops you from attaining the goal of the renunciation. Cognitive obscuration stops you from attaining the goal of Bodhicitta. You're getting it? So the thing is that you've already given the two teachings, renunciation, Bodhicitta. Now they have already generated, let's say, all sentient beings have generated renunciation, Bodhicitta, but these two things, the goals are not as fulfilled yet, materialized yet. How to make the two goals materialize? By removing these two mental defilements. How to remove the two mental defilements? Hey, how to remove the two mental defilements? Bodhicitta already generated. Huh? Okay, Richard. Perfect. So finally, mental defilements. So if you could remember this morning, I said that when I was saying that the final remedy lies in the hands of lies in the wisdom of emptiness, which alone is the liberating path. I said it, right? And you must be flowing the music of what he's saying. And then music means you don't remember, right? You just enjoy it, finished. It's not a music. So we are supposed to remember these. I said that wisdom of emptiness alone is the liberating path. All others like bodhicitta, renunciation, compassion, generosity, those are all the ripening paths. They are not the liberating path. Let's not forget it. Finally, let's say that if there's a poisonous tree growing, you have to remove it. And say from the poisonous tree, you have the skin and ashes. So you have to remove you have to cut the tree. So what do you require? What will actually cut the tree? What will actually cut the tree? An axe. An axe. Axe is required. But the axe will not cut by itself. It requires other factors. What will cut is the axe, right? You cannot cut it. You're getting it? So the axe will cut. This is finally what liberates. What counteracts the self-grasping ignorance and the subtle stains. Only the wisdom of emptiness. But this wisdom, this axe can be, you require a woodcutter, yes? Or somebody to lift the axe and then hit the tree. But if that person is lazy, or if the person is so weak, then you cannot cut it. So you need a very strong person. The bigger the tree, stronger the person is required. So, small tree, renunciation is good enough. Bigger tree, bodhicitta is required. Renunciation is too small. You require bodhicitta, wisdom, the enthusiasm bodhicitta, very strong is required. And this bodhicitta must be supported by renunciation. You're getting it? Okay. So what actually helps you materialize the goals, the two aspirations is the wisdom of emptiness, the only liberating path. You're getting it? So you remember that we already got through the renunciation bodhicitta. Now we're going deeper. So we're going deeper. Don't say renunciation bodhicitta. Bodhicitta, renunciation, already we touched this. Now we're going deeper. So whereas, generally speaking,
So how to? I'm lost. I'm confused. So I went to this tradition. I went to that tradition. I did this. Some people say that you do breathing meditation. Some people say this, that. I'm confused. What should I do? So what do you say? Practice 4 things: renunciation, bodhicitta, wisdom, interest. And the first, say what do you want, right? Don't say 4 things. Renunciation, bodhicitta, renunciation. Don't say this. First, you ask, what do you want? You getting it? If the person says, I'm hungry, don't say bodhicitta, renunciation, wisdom, interest. Hungry, tell him that go to kitchen. You're getting it? Go to kitchen. Don't force the other people, right? Okay, I'm not getting a job. Wisdom, again, bodhicitta, renunciation, bodhicitta, wisdom. Don't say this, right? I'm not getting a job. Then study well. Don't go to the pubs. Don't go to the pubs. Study well. Crack the competitive exams. Apply. Learn how to sit for the interviews. One morning, I received a call from somebody who I knew for now many years. And this lady, early morning, she gave me a call. And she said, Geshe-la, I'm going to give up Buddhism. I'm going to give up Buddhism. I said, okay. And she said, very reassuring, I'm going to give up Buddhism. I said, okay. Still she said, Geshe, I'm going to give up Buddhism. I said, okay. I'm going to give up Buddhism. I said, may I know why? Then she said that, I prayed to Buddha, I prayed to Aryatara all these 3 years, and my prayers are not answered. I said, what was your prayer? And she said that, my brother did not get a job. My brother didn't get a job. I prayed to Buddha, Tara, please give job to my brother, and he didn't get a job. I told her, okay. Now I know why you become a Buddhist. It's because your brother need a job. So for that matter, you become a Buddhist. So I told her that if your brother want to get a job, if you want your brother to get a job, don't become a Buddhist. Tell your brother, don't go to the pubs. Don't go to nightclubs. Sit for the competitive. In India, the competitive exam is extremely popular. And there's one thing I really appreciate in India, the competitive exams. There, even just an ordinary person from a very, very, very poor family background, very, very poor family, if you're intelligent, you can become the top person. Even though okay, politicians is different. I'm not talking about the politicians. Even as a bureaucrat, you can become the top bureaucrat. It's amazing with all these competitive exams. Just tell your brother, you don't really become Buddhist. Don't become Buddhist. Tell your brother, don't go to nightclubs. Don't say go to pubs. And instead prepare for the competitive exams, sit for exams, crack the exams, and shine. You don't pray to Buddha. You don't have to even become Buddhist. If you're hungry, don't pray to Buddha. Go to the kitchen, I said. If you're hungry, go to the kitchen. Don't pray to Buddha. If you're hungry, don't become Buddhist. Go to the kitchen. Right? This is how we should approach. Likewise, the point is that finally, if you want to remove the mental defilements, then you have to apply the corresponding remedies. And the ultimate remedy is the wisdom of emptiness. Okay. So if somebody says that what should I do? I'm confused now. I went to this class, this teaching, he's saying like this, I went to this teaching, that's it like this, I'm not confused. Then in which case, say you ask, what do you want? Find what you want, right? Let's say, I want peace of mind. Peace of mind. So you don't have peace of mind? What's the problem? If you have any problem? Yes. From what problem? Not getting a job. So 2 things. Then if there's a case, then you do a little bit of breathing meditation and try to, keep applying for the jobs. Keep applying for the jobs. Don't say, Buddha, please give me work. Please give me a job. Give me a job. Don't do that. Just apply for the job, apply more, make connections with people, right? And meanwhile, when you feel agitated, frustrated, do a little bit of breathing meditation, that's fine. No emptiness required, no bodhicitta required. If this is your goal, sounds, no. I feel that life is totally hollow. I have enough money, I have everything. Still, I feel life is hollow, right? Okay, are you seeking fearlessness? Are you seeking infinite happiness?
Yes, right. Then go for Bodhicitta, renunciation, wisdom, emptiness, and the Singapore meditation. You getting it? Okay. So this is how we have to go about. Now, when you go into specialization, renunciation, bodhicitta, okay, fine. Now, these two aspirations, how to materialize these aspirations? By the wisdom of emptiness. So, number 3 is wisdom of emptiness. And this wisdom of emptiness, right? It is like the one, like the axe which cuts the poisonous tree. So, it is like you actually walk rather than aspiration, you start walking. Walking, which is better? Moving by, say you have to, from here you have to go to, let's say, the Japan or to America. You walk or you bicycle or aeroplane. Hey, okay, bicycle is better than walking, right? And motorcycle is better than bicycle. But if there's urgent work, go by aeroplane. Don't expect to go by bicycle. So what is that aeroplane? That is the Tantra, the non-dual wisdom of emptiness. And for that, you should have the other prerequisites. Okay, so these are 4 teachings that you give as you breathe out. The nectars, white lights go through your right nostril. The mere touch of these with the sentient beings, they manifest in the form of, in the form of the Buddhist Bodhisattvas, precisely Buddha Shakyamuni, Ada Manjushri, Ada Tejvara, Ada Tara, and so forth, and also yourself in the form of Buddhist Bodhisattvas. Not just that you assign Buddhist Bodhisattvas to that, but you do it yourself. You do it yourself by giving teachings first, giving teaching on 3 times, giving teaching on renunciation, and then feel that, okay, now all the beings refrain from engaging in negativities. Then 3 times giving Bodhicitta teaching. Imagine that the beings now start to do gain conviction in expanding the circle of Bodhicitta, circle of compassion. Then the 3 times teaching of the wisdom of emptiness to materialize those 2 aspirations. Wisdom of emptiness. And imagine whatever little experience of emptiness that you get as you breathe out, as you breathe out, then the Buddhist Bodhisattvas, they give teachings on emptiness, and yourself also in the manifestation Buddhist Bodhisattvas, giving teachings of emptiness. And then imagine that whatever little experience of emptiness that you have, imagine all the beings, they are now abiding in the experience of emptiness, where that they start to wake up from sleep of ignorance. Each one of them is what you have to visualize. And then finally, how to make it the fast, to make this progress fast, is by the wisdom of the non-dual wisdom, the wisdom of non-duality of bliss and emptiness. That's the Tantra. Although you have no clue what it is, just imagine that finally let me meet with the Tantra once I'm ready with all these teaching practices. And so imagine that this is what you are given to all the beings in the form of the teaching, so that they would know how to become enlightened very quickly with the prerequisites intact. Okay, shall we do that now? Okay, let's do it together. Okay, so we are done with the giving. We did not do. Generosity did, not did? First generosity did. Okay, let's do it again. The 4 generosities, giving. Taking we did. The taking we did the 3, but giving I don't think we did it. We'll do it now. The first, okay, tell me, how many kinds of generosity are there? What are they? Okay, raise hands, those who have on your fingertips, raise hands. Raise hands. Okay, the first one, Pinzola.
Generosity of material resources.
Very good. Raise hands, Tara. Okay, number 3, Vasudha. Okay, Amir. Very good. Okay, now let's do one by one. You getting it? Okay, so breathe out, nectars, white light flow through your the right nostril and go towards all the sentient beings. And they manifest these like nectars and what like they manifest in the form of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and try to be as precise, like Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Are Manjushri, Are Tar, and so forth. And yourself also manifested in the form of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And when you breathe out, and then as you breathe in, imagine that now they receive the teachings, and whatever result you're expecting, and that happens to them. Like, okay, now I'm refraining from negativities. Okay, now I'm expanding my compassion, bodhicitta. Oh, now I'm seeing the emptiness, everything is empty true existence. Okay, now I'm experiencing the union, bliss, and emptiness. Okay, ready? The first one, generosity of, generosity of the material resources. Imagine now all the beings who are deprived of material resources, they go to material resources, they feel so relieved. What is next? Generosity, loving kindness. Okay, 3 times. Okay, next. Okay, generosity, protection. Next. Okay, Dharma, therefore. What's the first one? Dharma of renunciation. Okay. Here, the outcome should be visualized as that the beings stop to have the negative thoughts, negative actions. Like all the frictions in the family, they all dissolve. Next, teaching the Dharma of Bodhicitta. 3 times. Next. And Dharma, the wisdom of emptiness, 3 times. Next, Dharma of the wisdom of non-dual Bodhicitta, non-dual of the wisdom of bliss and emptiness, non-duality of bliss and emptiness. Here, what you do is that just imagine that the beings, they feel tremendous happiness, joy, blend with the wisdom of emptiness. It is like celebrating a birthday party where there's tremendous joy there. You don't know how the time passes. That's because of this, there's a tremendous quality there, and whatever you're doing is so effective that there's non-duality to the bliss and emptiness. They realize emptiness with the feeling of the tremendous uncontaminated bliss, so that they attain Buddhahood very soon, 3 times. Okay, good. So these 2 constitute the Tonglen practice, the practice of giving and taking. Okay, so what is next? Step number? Step number 6. What is step number 6? Actual exchange of self and others. Okay, so here there's nothing really as a special to do something, but simply to make a very strong commitment. Thus far, what you've discovered or what you've realized is that the cherishing others is so beautiful. You get the maximum happiness. Cherishing oneself is the ultimate source of your own destruction. So seeing the deep awareness, conviction of the demerits of cherishing oneself and benefit of cherishing others, with this very strong feeling, now you make a commitment that henceforth, if I were to cherish somebody, I will cherish others more than myself. If at all I should be oblivious, indifferent to somebody, I will be indifferent and oblivious to myself rather than to others. So, actual exchange meaning, thus far we have been cherishing oneself more than others. Now we exchange the object of cherishing. Exchange here means exchanging the object of cherishing. Thus far, the object of cherishing is the self. Now you cherish others. You pick up others as the object of your cherishing. Thus far, the object of being indifferent is others. Now you change others. From others, you move it to the self. If at all I should be indifferent, I'll be indifferent to myself. Okay. It doesn't mean that I will reject myself. There's going to be self-denial. No. When you say that I'll be indifferent to myself, you are actually combating the self-centered attitude. You getting it? Okay. It's not that henceforth I will just ignore myself. No, this is not the connotation. Okay. We just make a very strong commitment. Okay. Can you make it? Okay. You are writing. Finish this. Okay, we just make a very strong commitment that henceforth I will cherish others more than to myself, and I will be indifferent towards myself more than to others. Okay, let's sit and make the first commitment that henceforth, actually exchange of self and others, meaning I will exchange the object of cherishing. Henceforth, I will cherish others more than myself. Be superficial, it doesn't matter. This is how we have to, this is the meaning of the practice. Okay, let's make a very strong commitment 3 times mentally. and that too thinking of the I say the demerits of cherishing oneself and the merits of cherishing others. Okay, next. If to be indifferent, I'll be indifferent towards myself more than to others. Which means that I will not give in to the self-centered attitude. This is the main idea. Okay, good. So from this, the essence of outcome that we should expect from these 6 steps is that think of cherishing others. You should feel that that is the safe heaven. Safe heaven. Safe heaven meaning? Safe space. This is extremely safe heaven meaning the safe space. The safe space, or that this is the final ultimate security. Ultimate security to you. Because that if you don't cherish others, you cherish yourself. You cherish others, then all miseries happen. And miseries are very, very scary. Just imagine you take bird as the wild animal in the forest. Every day you have to live in fear. Yes? No? Even the most powerful, strongest lion, even he or she has to live in fear. Because, say, you may be the strongest lion in that particular area. And there's going to be a younger lion. Then they'll grow, you become older, then they'll attack you. You getting it? Everybody has to live in fear. It's very scary. And nobody can fight for, the protest for the human rights violation in the forest. Right? Whoever is stronger will eat you up. That's it. And the person who eats you up will be eaten by somebody else. In the water, in the ocean, every living creature has to live in fear, including the big whales. They have to live in fear that somebody will come to eat you up, right? Even the sharks, they have to live in fear. Somebody else will come to eat you up. One time, when I was, that was, I think, about like 2009. How many years ago? 13 years ago. So look, my trust in Joshua is just amazing. I blindly trust him. It's like a blind faith. Yeah, I trust him because I know his accuracy. So it's not a blind faith. It's the faith out of conviction in him, confidence in him. 10 years. 10 years ago, I had to go for a biopsy to take a sample from my lungs to see whether it's cancer or something. Yeah, very scary though. And how the biopsy was taken was extremely painful. And the doctor gave me local anesthesia. Local anesthesia and a long needle. And he already gave me the warning that this needle will go in, and if you move, all the procedures have to be repeated. So, and then, because he cannot see where he is hitting the needle, and needle has to hit where the problem is, and he would just put the needle there, and he sent me into the scan to see if the needle hit the right place. If not, again he had to do it again, repeat it. And of course, he he must be in his, I think, like 50s. Looks very experienced. And he did it in one go. And he said, if you move everything, you feel the pain? I said, yes. And don't move. If you move, everything will have to be repeated. So, and when he was putting needle, I could feel as though like the whole huge boulder was crushing on me. This was the kind of the feeling that I was getting. I could feel the pain. Local anesthesias were given, and I could feel the pain. And the pain was like this. The whole boulder was crushing on me. Because he was putting gently. Suddenly the pain is going to be acute. And I was buried. And then I could think of, the poor animals who we eat as food. And they have to go through this process. And the process which I got through, which I went through, with the local anesthesia. It was not a sword. It was not a knife. It was just a fine needle. And then I thought that, it's so cruel on the part of human beings to eat animals. It's so cruel, I thought. And then there was a Tibetan nurse who was sent by one of my friends to particularly help me. And after this process completed, I asked the Tibetan nurse, are you vegetarian? She said, no. I said that we the human beings, we are so cruel, we are so selfish. Just for our 5 minutes food, delicious food, we slaughtered animals. And for me, just with a local anesthesia, with a very fine needle, not actually cutting, just fine needle, and local anesthesia, still the pain is so acute, I couldn't bear it. And these poor animals, there's no anesthesia. It's not a fine needle, it's just slitting the throat. Extremely selfish on the part of human beings. I said, then I told her, can you become a vegetarian? She said, yes. And then after 1 year, I met her again. And then she must have shared the story to her friends who sent her to help me. And one time, after 1 year, in Dharamsala I met. In Dharamsala, in the main McLaren square. I met there, and her friends were telling me, Geshe, good news, that she is still vegetarian. Okay, so what I'm saying, this is very true. This is very true, that the amount of the sufferings the beings go through. And then just imagine, it's a matter of, say, if we don't realize emptiness, there are only 3 places where we go: desire realm, formless realm, in samsara. And where we take birth is a matter of time. We never know. What are karmas? Innumerable karmas to project us into hell, in Hungry Ghost realm, animal realm. Innumerable karmas over there, unless we cultivate what is known as the escape velocity. You know escape velocity? How many know escape velocity sense? Okay, your name?
Ezekiel.
Ezekiel, tell me, what is escape velocity?
The gravity in Earth is pulling things toward the Earth, and if you reach enough velocity to go to avoid the gravity, you have an escape velocity which is faster than the gravity pull.
Perfect. Okay, did you follow what Ezekiel said? So it is like, let's say that say you throw the stone in the air, in the sky, what happens? The stone will come back. Why does it come back? By the pull of the gravity. So we don't have the enough velocity or the force to put it with the specific velocity whereby the stone can escape the planet Earth. So it keeps coming back, keeps coming back. The escape velocity is the force with which you make the object to move in such a speed that that force is greater than the gravity, so that it can escape the pull of the gravity of the planet Earth, and then you escape. You will not fall back to Earth anymore. So what is that escape velocity? The wisdom of emptiness. Without the wisdom of emptiness, you just keep coming down, coming down, coming down. Animal realm, hungry ghost realm, hell realm, human realm, complicated. We have to keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. So this is only the way to get out of this problem. Otherwise, the self-centered attitude and self-grasping ignorance, these two work together, will always pull us down into these miseries endlessly, endlessly, endlessly. And these are all the same, these are all the effects of the self-centered attitude, selfishness. So, if you think more of the demerits of the selfishness, the more you cherish the other, the more you value the other cherished mind. You're getting it? The more you think of helping others, you feel like, okay, so this is like, say, you see, you fear somebody, who is about to harm you, and suddenly you see your, like your brother, your father, your uncle, somebody who's there to rescue you. Instead, you feel so relieved. So at one point, if you're very serious with this practice, you reach to a point whereby, say, to think of cherishing others, it is like your father or the mother to come to save you. Cherishing others. Cherishing oneself, you feel as though like you are being in the grip of the demon. You feel it. Then you cherish others, you work for others, you will never feel tired, you will never feel burnout. Cherishing others, you feel that it's actually the cherishing others that's actually helping me to be free from self-centered attitude, to be free from all these miseries of samsara, to be free from the sickness, aging, death, tension, and so forth. All this anxiety, I'm being freed. You feel the joy, you feel the tremendous benefit. So with this, you may come in, therefore, I must cherish others. I should never give into the self-centered attitude. This feeling you have to build. Initially, it will be very superficial. It doesn't matter. This is how we have to practice it. And once you start to get a little bit of feeling of, okay, now my mind flows towards other beings with love and affection. You feel it, then the degree of the joy that you get is what you have never experienced before. It's so, so amazing, so precious. So for this, we need to practice. This is the only way. Without the practice, the way you remain like an ordinary person with the egoistic, with the short-tempered, being very selfish, you will never experience this ecstatic, beautiful moment of the joy. You'll never feel that. And everybody can feel that, provided you practice this bodhicitta, these steps. So precious. What's next? So we made commitment. That's number 6. What's number 7? A special recollection of the kindness of others. Okay, this we'll do in the next session. A special recollection of the kindness of others. Piyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhiswaha Dhyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswaha Dhyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswaha